Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
Those dark mornings are getting a little lighter out there as we gain more light as we head closer to the sun and our inevitable doom. Mornings at the cabin, Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. No, Wheeler, Lecter, AJ, damn it. It's so ingrained into my brain. Wheeler, Lecter, and AJ with you on your Monday morning post-Dead North, post-opening of the Snow Castle. Wonderful times. Made it to 2 Dead North screenings this weekend. Both the late shows. And I tell you this much, it was tiring. It was
God.
Like, we barely made it to the end. On Friday night, our Lecter and I's movie, Welcome to Tundradome, played last. It played at like 20 after 12.
Yeah.
It was all the films were great, but like, it's so late.
There was a boisterous cheer that came out when the Tundradome screen hit. And I think it was half because we were excited to watch our movie and like everyone of our cast was there.
Yeah.
And half because everyone was like, we get to go home in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yay. We'll talk more about the Dead North Film Festival as we continue throughout the morning. Obviously, that's our top story, really, because it dominated the weekend. The other thing that dominated the weekend was the Snow Castle's 25th, Snow Castle 25, I guess you should say. Is it the Silver Jubilee?
The Silver Jubilee.
Silver Jubilee opening this weekend, noon on Saturday, with a whole bunch of stuff going on Saturday, and of course you can catch the entire schedule at snowking.ca. But a brand spanking new band debuted on Saturday night, and by all accounts, was great and bearish. It was a great bear. That's not very good. My pun game is off, but that's fine. It's Monday morning, and remember, it's not Monday that sucks. It's your job that sucks.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler, Lecter, and AJ with you on your Monday morning, getting geared up for the week ahead.
I thought you were going to say the weekend.
Getting geared up for the weekend.
Lots of time to gear.
Oh, let's gear it up. Well, Dead North. Another Dead North past has come and gone. And this year actually participated in a couple of flicks, which is the first time I've ever done it, which was a ton of fun. Lecter, you and I did one together. We've been talking about it for weeks. Welcome to Tundradome. Yeah. AJ, you weren't
wanting to do it for years.
You weren't even part of this, AJ.
Didn't even get the invite.
No?
No.
Why did you make one?
Like to the screenings, you mean?
Yeah.
I was busy.
Oh.
Yeah. I really did want to go. I had board meetings all weekend.
No, I didn't mean the screenings. Like, why did you do a movie?
Oh, we were going to. But the idea we had was just going to take too much time and effort that we just didn't have.
Scoffs. I watch Netflix with the subtitles, so every time someone goes, it says scoffs.
Because of the kids, the Frostbite movie.
Yeah.
I've been thinking onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, I know. My goodness, Frostbitten, the sequel to Frostbite, was so awesome. So awesome. Onomatopoeia. It was great. And like he walks by Center Square and just says sketchy mall on the side.
Sketchy mall. That was
one of the best ones. We saw that one on Friday night. So Lecter and I went on Friday night to the late screening. And like I said, it went late, like 12:30, and we're old, and it was very tiring.
Yeah.
And then I went to the late screening on Saturday as well.
Oh my God.
I know. But we were also pretty wiped. So I have to say, and I'm sorry to say, we left at intermission.
Really?
Oh yeah, straight up. We
wow.
were like, Phoenix was falling asleep on my shoulder. I was like, ours is the last one before intermission. She's like, okay.
Wake me up.
Because she had rehearsal all week, and then they had the Bella show. So I went to the Bella show at NAC, and then we went to the late night screening. So,
at a much more reasonable time, I'm sure.
Well, the Bella show, yeah. 7:00.
That's how you do it.
Anyway, back to the Dead North movies. And the ones we saw on Friday and on Saturday, I mean, I haven't seen them all yet, obviously, but what we saw was fantastic.
Yeah.
So many good flicks. And then they threw that one in the middle that was a National Film Board of Canada movie.
Yeah, oh my God.
It didn't start with like an out of competition or whatever.
No, there was no context. There was no context. Here's the next film.
Here's the next film. And I was like 5 seconds into it, I was like, this is incredible. What is this?
Yeah,
there's no way this got done in 2 months.
Like looking around like, who made this? This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Gorgeous. And I can't even remember the title of it right now.
Was it still a horror movie?
No, it was.
No.
It was. It was kind of it was a genre movie for sure.
Okay. Yeah. It was not a place.
No, not at all. It was
aside from just how amazing it was. That's not to say anything
about
the work anyone else did.
you can tell that some of these movies are made in like a weekend. You know what I mean? Like they're made in a weekend. They spend a few weeks editing and doing post production, and like so like there's an edginess, there's a grittiness to most of the movies.
Yeah,
this is polished and gorgeous, and it was out of Nunavut, and it was they were just trying to basically throw stuff in there that's out of competition to show what's going on in the North, what kind of talent there is.
Fair enough.
And it was beautiful. And it was I believe it's an old tale, but it's about the great polar bear. And he wakes the great polar bear in a cave underwater, and it comes up, and it's enormous. And he's just because they're out on the land with his dog. Some of his dogs have died, and he's searching for food and starving. So,
it sounds much higher budget.
Oh my god!
Than you would expect.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
when it ended, everyone was just kind of sitting there, like in almost stunned silence, like
looking around.
Like,
who did
this? Like still kind of unsure if someone actually had that kind of talent in the room to pull that off. Ryland was emceeing. Ryland Johnson. He comes up and he says, "So, in case you couldn't guess, that was not a Dead North film.
Incredible.
Everyone, calm down."
Yeah. And I'm a bad host for not remembering what the title is. But I mean, from the movies that were made, I mean, like just by amateurs, right? I mean, that's kind of what this is all about. This is about like people, creating their ideas and then finding a love for film, which they have done. Mm-hmm. And like there were 46 films in total, which is absolutely incredible. And so we watched all of them on Friday night, and I said, "Oh, it's the first mission on Saturday night." But from what we saw, just like again, so much talent, and I mean, Dead North continues to have a bright future. I don't know that it gets bigger than this. Like I think they, you want it to get bigger, but I mean, how can it?
Yeah, do they have room?
Right. I mean, like you got 46 films. If you went to the Brain Melter screening on Sunday, yesterday, 6 hours long.
Yeah.
Well, they could do two screens, right? Like the two theaters.
Of course, they could.
Yeah,
absolutely, they could. But I mean, like that. Like, good luck seeing them all.
Yeah,
I mean?
You may not get to see them all.
I mean, you may not get to see them all when
there's
there's 46. But I mean, they can always go bigger. It's just, I mean, how much more can you go?
Week-long festival.
And what's the plan now for releasing them?
I don't know.
I can't remember what happened last year.
They usually do selections on like Vimeo. They'll release them on Vimeo or whatever. Yeah. So those will come out at some point. There's a screening tomorrow night at the Snow Castle.
Okay.
So go to snowking.ca for scheduling information for that. And those will be selections, mostly like probably winners and things like that. So for ours, Welcome to Tundradome won Best Production Design.
Yeah.
And the Friday Audience Award, which is like, that's cool, but also like we were like half the audience. So,
Yeah, we cheated.
Yeah, we didn't cheat. We didn't cheat. Well, I mean, but like the Friday early screening was completely sold out. Ours was about 2/3 full.
Yeah.
And we still won.
And that was like all us.
All us.
Yeah. Wasn't cheating. It was just heavily swayed.
Yeah, heavily swayed, heavily biased.
Yeah.
And then mobsters.
Illegally influenced.
That's right. Legally influenced.
Not cheating.
legally.
Yeah.
Cheating's a dirty word.
That's right. Such a smelly word. And then my other one, the other one that I did with Herb Matheson and Pat Kane,
which I heard was great,
and it was wonderful.
Yeah,
it turned out really well.
Liked it.
Turned out really, really well. Heidi Kane, Darcy Barassa, just to name like half the cast. But that one won the Audience Award.
For
the entire festival, which is amazing,
awesome.
and then I think won Best Trailer as well. So like good stuff.
Before we forget, also. Huge shout out to K-Mac.
Big old shout out to K-Mac, who's, you know what? Not even a shout out to K-Mac. He's in San Diego right now. So you know what?
He's listening.
He just, but he posted up. He's like, that feeling when you don't have to go to work on Monday, and it's a seal smiling, and it's just like, ugh. Ugh. I wanted to write
so cute.
Yeah, I wanted to write under it, award-winning actor seeks seclusion after film festival.
Smartest way to go about it.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
get out of town.
Huge congrats to K-Mac. He won Best Actor for his flick, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, gonna have to check that one out now too.
Absolutely. Well,
wouldn't have otherwise, but he's the best actor.
That's
so.
right.
All right.
That's right. Check out as many as you can. Once we know where they're going to kind of be situated, we'll let you know. But of course, Tuesday nights at the Snow Castle, you can check out a selection of Dead North movies, and go check out the Snow Castle as well, because it is now open, and we'll get into more of what's going on this month at the Snow Castle in just a little bit. Want to play some Bob Marley for my dog, because according to science, dogs love reggae. It's true. I played it all Saturday. She was nice and relaxed. She even got up and had a poop. So there you go.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, It was early. What do you want from us?
The Snow King Winter Festival kicked off on Saturday. It's the Silver Jubilee. It's 25. It's XXV in Roman numerals. And it kicked off on Saturday at noon with of course, the door cutting, which is also always very fun to see. And we have a video of that on our Facebook page. You can find that at Cabin Radio NWT.
It was the most spectacular door cutting I've ever seen.
Really?
It was quick.
It was
efficient.
It was quick.
Yeah.
It was just like they just pounded it right out of there, buddy.
Snow King came parading in with some kids holding the flags. They were getting ready to go. He was getting ready to give a speech. He had like 2 minutes to go. And then they just started cutting behind him. He turned around like, what? Okay.
They cut into him.
They
cut into him.
No, but
No.
I think he was a little startled.
Yeah, I bet. Once they started slicing into him.
And then it went just like poof, broke open. It was pretty great.
One of the big stories from Saturday night was Shiver and Shake. You had Motherhood opening up, or Motherhood was the headliner, but opening up for them was a new band we've been talking about, featuring City Councilor Julian Morse and Baby Brian. And
Of course.
David Dow.
He's in every band.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's one of the most talented musicians in the
absolutely.
city. So, like, if you have a band, you might as well,
A lot of talent in that band, actually,
Absolutely.
too. I don't recognize the drummer. I feel bad. I'm not sure who the drummer is, but Sean Kieran on bass, and Natasha Duchenne.
Yep.
Sean, another guy that's in every band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good band right there.
Great band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to snowking.ca for the full calendar of events. It's closed today because it's closed on Monday. That's when they go dark. It's on Monday.
Pardon me, Sean Robson. I'm getting into this bad habit of calling
naming
people by their
people poorly.
Facebook names.
Jill Marie last week.
Yeah, Jill Marie last week. Yeah.
Oh, with using their Facebook name?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's an idea. Don't put a nickname on your Facebook if you want people to know who you are. Because sometimes I only meet people through Facebook, and then I'll meet them in person.
Yeah.
And be like, hi, DC Corpus. I don't know what that is.
And now that I've clarified, I've given away their Facebook alias.
Yeah, you really have.
Yes.
So I apologize
You are
for
just
everything.
And that's the point. It's not a nickname. It's like a privacy thing.
You have no
That's
privacy.
why you don't put your full name
There
on
is no
Facebook.
privacy on
There's
Cabin
no
Radio.
Yeah, exactly. There's no privacy on Facebook. That doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, it's harder to
No,
search.
Not really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it can recognize your face.
Yeah, it'll recognize your face,
Yeah,
and
there's
also
no
like if
escaping.
if anybody else posts about you, it's in there as well. Like you can find people. It's actually not.
You can but you can't just be like Jesse Wheeler. Like if you had Jesse in your middle name or something like that, it wouldn't come up.
Uh-huh.
That's
There's
the
no
point.
privacy. Let's just.
Maybe we
That's
should
the
all
point.
just grow up and stop trying to hide from ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not
I think we're
ourselves
getting.
I'm
I
worried
think we're
about.
getting away from things, guys. Snow King Winter Festival calendar of events at snowking.ca, but also on their Facebook page. And I've got it right here in my hot little hand. Closed today, like I said, but you can come and play at the Snow Castle starting tomorrow from 12 till 5 every day except Mondays. 8 o'clock is the Dead North Film Festival selections. I'm not sure what the selections are going to be, but it's a great place to watch a few flicks. It's down at the Snow Castle. And then more events coming up on the weekend, of course. And we will keep you up to date on everything because, of course, we are a big part of this as well. We want to be. And we'll have a video for you coming up on. We're going to go down there on Wednesday to do a little video. And we'll have that up for you later in the week. But, of course, lots of bands, lots of things to do. Go to snowking.ca for all your full calendar of events. And I haven't even been down there yet. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
I haven't even been down there, but I've heard that the castle looks absolutely incredible, as it always does. And the snow carvings look great, and they've started to haul out the ice for the ice carving competition. So,
And the ice slides this year, on point.
on point.
Oh, you just go sailing down. There's no curves or anything, to slow you down. It's just a straight shot
That was
right
a straight
down.
shot last year, too.
I thought there was a curve. 'cause-
No, there was a
No.
curve like a couple years ago.
Oh, was it a couple years ago?
The hell's wrong with
Maybe I didn't go down last year.
you? Damning people's privacy, remembering curves when there weren't any. You all right?
You're a piece of work, Scott.
Well, I'm trying to remember because of course Gavin at Finning there, friend of the show, he went down, and maybe he went down the kids slide. Maybe that was the problem because there was definitely a curve.
Yeah.
and he hit the curve hard and knocked a block of ice
Kevin
out of it. Broke the slide.
broke the slide.
Yeah.
And now all the kids are getting hurt. Because there's that little space right
No,
there.
but that was last year.
Were
It was
there?
last year.
That were last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The little block space, there's a little empty space there. Now their hips get caught in it. And
Yeah.
like, ah!
And he's a big guy, so I mean, that's a risky move to go down the kid slide when you're his size.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was why I thought that had to be the adult slide.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's no curves this year though. So
good. Straight shots.
Yeah, straight shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go to snowking.ca for all your information and go down there every day. Even when it's closed, obviously you can still walk around and see the snow carvings and around the outside of the snow castle. It looks incredible. But if you want to go tomorrow, go on your lunch.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Joined by Marie Kader, who is the executive director for NAC. And NAC is sponsoring the show this morning, more specifically NAC's presentation of Frankenstein, which is the Canadian premiere from Manual Cinema. Stories of Mary Shelley, Victor Frankenstein, and his monster expose how the forces of family, community, and education shape personhood or destroy it by their absence. So, a light romp of Frankenstein.
Yes, right after Dead North, so perfect timing.
And we saw a trailer for it during Dead North. So if you went to any of the Dead North screenings this weekend, you saw some trailers for some other things going on in town. One of them was for Frankenstein at the NAC on March 4th, which is Wednesday night. Wednesday night. So you can find tickets at nacnt.ca. So this is multidisciplinary, multi-layered. There's puppeteering. What else is going on with this? I mean, the trailer looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Frankenstein.
I discovered that company, those guys in New York, not this year, but last year, and I really connected well with the agent, and I really felt a big willingness from the agents to help me to get it in Canada, because this is a company touring all around the world, but specifically extensively in the States. They have like acclaimed reviews from the New Yorker, New York Times, like name it. And they have like lots of show, and they are based in Chicago. They're going to come with a 12 people crew. And Manuel Cinema really wants to explore the pleasure of it's digital, but it's not. It's really analog. But at the same time, they create something that is almost like if you would go and use like those special effects software. But it's all done live. It's live cinema. It's puppetry. It's live musician on stage. They also make the different vignette on old projectors to project it on the screen.
Yeah, like shadow work and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's just a little gem, and it's very complex to tour because the agent really tried to get me have another show of Manuel Cinema going, which are all great, but they are more simple technically to tour. But I really stick on Frankenstein, which is the most complicated and technical one of all the roster of Manuel Cinema and the list of shows that they have. So I partner with the Port Theatre on Vancouver Island and the Yukon Arts Center. I called my friends and I said, we really have to put together a tour in Canada so we can make it possible, and we can also reduce the cost for freight and also try to find ways to partner with, like we have to rent a lot of stuff in Edmonton to have it possible here.
Yeah.
And they are arriving with 43 bags of equipment on the plane. So it's a big show. It's the Canadian premiere. It's their latest show, too. It was premiered in Chicago and New York last year, and it has been touring since then in the States. But it's in Yellowknife, it's the Canadian premiere. So we really invite people to come. And also, like, the story of Frankenstein is so relevant and so interesting, too. It's so fascinating. So it's, to me, it's definitely a highlight this season. It's a big show. It took a long time. It took a year to put the funding together. We're still waiting for the Canada Council for the Arts touring grant. We partner with the Yukon and Vancouver Island, as I said. So we applied as a team to get this touring grant happening. So, yeah.
So this has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of moving parts to get this this show here.
Yes, and I always look for new stuff that people don't know about, and this show, this company, like it's a new found for me. Like I was not aware of Manuel Cinema until I discovered them. So when I discovered them, I was like, wow, Yellowknife residents needs to know about them too. It's they are very special. So I put all my energy to make it happen. So we hope to have a full house Wednesday.
Wednesday at the NAC, nacnt.ca for tickets. Okay, so I mean, a large, huge production. You're really pushing the boundaries. I mean, I know this is from talking to you for the last 5 years. Yeah. I know this is what you've wanted to do. You've wanted to push the boundaries of what has ever been here, but also what this theater can do.
Yes.
So that's what you're doing.
Yes. Especially this year, we have a lot of test run with what we can do technically. NAC, it has been very challenging because we had, when I started, we had a huge deficit that we had to work on. But after that, we had lots of funding cut. Like I had to manage over 100,000 plus of fund. Always been able to make it, but it has been extremely stressful to expand the scale of the shows too, because we have the communities as well too. We have 40 shows a year in the small community, so it's super expensive. So having like huge show at NAC, like I needed to find the right timing to do it, and I still did. Like this year, like nobody knows, it's behind the scene, but it cost 130,000 more than last year the season, and I still don't have more funding. I had to find it, so it's I'm still fundraising until the fiscal year is on March 31st. So we really push the boundaries to bring like really good shows at the risk. It's a gamble at the same time, but I think it's worth it because the type of show that you guys will see on Wednesday will tell me, okay, the community wants those type of funky, big, interesting people. Like Manuel Cinema push the boundaries, right? They try new stuff. It's not something you're gonna see often. So. Yes, I really want. It's a test run this year. Like we had the circus in February. Anyway, so if I see it's working well, and if I see that people are captivated by that and they are learning something from those artists, I will definitely push. I commit to push the my stress level to fund those type of shows. Yeah, but yeah, it's. You know well too. Your partner works for Bella Dance, who also work really hard at having arts all around town, and the arts organization, like the all around town, work really hard at having some kind of sustainability, and it's not easy. And yeah, I'm taking right now at mini national strategy to gather some arts groups so we could fundraise as a collaborative. But not necessarily just on the territorial. We need to look at you remember that NAC was was created thanks to a national fundraiser back in the day. So I'm thinking of doing something maybe similar eventually with other arts group. I'm not talking about it yet because, but I attended a really good session in New York when I was at the conference with two presenters, one in the film industry and one in as a NAC, like a presenters in Ohio in a small community, and they are fundraising $5 million right now. So, but I believe that if NAC partner with other arts organization and we can fundraise on a larger scale, it's a big project to put together. But I think we have to think further in the future, and we cannot just live on the survival mode on a day to day,
year to year.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's incredibly stressful, but also tenuous.
Yes.
Can't really keep that going because if something falls through, then your whole season goes out the door.
Exactly.
Back to the show for a second. Obviously,
went up.
No, I always
went up in the funding.
No, not at all. I always want people to know how hard you work and how hard you work for funding, just how difficult and how much work goes into.
But this show is very expensive coming up.
Of course,
so it's why I came to that point. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I always want people to know just how much work goes into bringing these things here, because people will see this and kind of go like, why is that coming here? If it's that, because this is the chance to go see something new, something different, and something that stretches the talents of the people here as well, because obviously there's crew and volunteers involved from Yellowknife that are going to be helping putting this on as well.
Exactly.
So what I want to talk about, you talked about how you think that Frankenstein is still incredibly relevant. Now, this stitches together the biography of Mary Shelley, but also her book, Frankenstein. Tell me what you think is so very relevant about this story now.
But we live in a very lonely society in 2020. Like, we really have to work around bringing the sense of family, community, tribe together. The system doesn't encourage that. And in many places all around Canada, we had to, some society had, they gave up on the religion, which is great, but also it created a lot of loss of point of reference in terms of like what's the sense of family. So a lot of divorce, a lot of, so in Quebec, I'm the first generations where parents started to divorce because they stopped believing in the religion. If we think about here with the genocide and the trauma that is going on with the Indigenous communities, it's really important to showcase teams like that how what's the power of family and it's something that is part of the core value of Indigenous people, the tribe, this notion of community, and they use more the we than the I.
Yes.
It's so to me, like a story like Frankenstein is very relevant, and
not to mention that there's something when there's something different, literal bands of people with pitchforks and torches come out.
Yeah, right.
No, exactly.
Absolutely.
Pitchforks, torches, horrible stickers, whatever you want to do to combat what you think is wrong.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
No,
so,
totally.
I mean, this looks very, very interesting. Is there a place where can you find the trailer on nacnt.ca?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So the trailer was playing during the film festival. So maybe if you go to a movie tonight or tomorrow, you can see this trailer. It'll probably play before the movies, which is one thing I'm really loving at the movie theater right now is that they're playing local ads. And like, there's one for We Will Rock You. I'm in it. But there's the one for Frankenstein, which is absolutely incredible. Like it's a bit of a mind play because you're watching, you're like, what is going on? And then it says Frankenstein, and you're like, okay, yes, that makes sense. But there's a ton going on, like you said, with puppetry and shadow play and actual theater and music and just the creation of soundscapes and things like that.
Can I say something too? I really want to say a big thank you to Martin, our tech director, and Pido Production. They went out of their way to make this big technical rider happening.
Yes.
Like, it was very complex, and they will work with volunteers, as you mentioned, for like 2 days to get this stage ready for the fort. So, like, huge thank you to those guys. Yeah, I'm really thankful.
Absolutely. Peter Productions always going above and beyond.
I know.
NACNT.ca for tickets for Frankenstein from Manual Cinema on 7:30 on Wednesday.
The Canadian premiere.
Absolutely, the Canadian
Very
premiere.
exciting.
Thanks to Marie Coderre. Thank you so much for dropping by, as always.
My pleasure,
All
gentlemen.
Right. Okay, like I said, NACNT.ca for tickets. Go get them now. Oh, wait, how much are they?
They are 60. They are a little bit higher than normal.
But I mean, what you're getting for that is an incredible show.
But it's the same price down south.
Of course.
So it's not, and it's sold out in the Yukon, and it's almost sold out in the 800-seat theater in the Port Theater on Vancouver Island.
All right.
Wake up, Yellowknife.
Time to get your tickets. NACNT.ca. Go check out the trailer there on the Frankenstein page. You will not be disappointed.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Little rundown. Dead North happened this weekend, and we had a fantastic time. If you missed it, you'll be able to see some of the selections tomorrow night at the Snow Castle. Go to snowking.ca for scheduling information. I believe everything gets going around 8. It'll be not all of them, but a good selection of them. So you can head down there and check that out. It's a great place to watch some flicks. Also, this morning's show brought to you by NAC and their presentation of Manual Cinema's Frankenstein, which is happening on Wednesday at 7:30. Go to nacnt.ca for ticket information for that. Tickets are $60, but if you go to nacnt.ca and you see the trailer, you're going to see why. And we had Marie Coderre in a little earlier on. You can catch that on the podcast a little later on once we have that up for you. She goes into why this show was important to bring it here. It's the Canadian premiere, which is huge to have a Canadian premiere right here in Yellowknife of such an extensive show that's toured all the way across the U.S. and has been making noise every step of the way, and goes into the complexities of bringing something this big into Yellowknife and just the amount of work that it does take. So it's a really interesting interview. Check that out on the podcast a little later on at cabinradio.ca. Also, another car fire in Yellowknife yesterday, and here's the kicker on this one.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
2 doors. It's not funny.
No, it's not.
Well, no one's hurt. So it's
good.
we can all laugh. I'm sure the car was insured. 2 doors down from my house. Had no idea what was going on. I had the shades drawn. I was warming up, and I was kind of rehearsing. I was practicing a bit for rehearsal because I had rehearsal for We Will Rock You yesterday.
Because you're playing Freddie.
Because I'm playing Freddie Mercury.
Ah, you finally admitted it.
I am not doing that.
No.
But I came out of the house to get ready to go and load up the car, and Ollie pulls up right in front of my house. He's like, "If you don't know anything about this, I'm going to kill you." I was like, "What's this? What's going on?" I walked in the door. There's cop cars. There's bylaw. There's a fire engine. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I looked down the way. Oh, car fire.
Well, they should have put their sirens on.
Yeah, they didn't, or maybe they did. And I had my noise canceling headphones on and singing to myself. So that's what I was doing when there was a car on fire just outside my house.
Well, who can predict these things, right?
I don't know. They're getting pretty common. This is like at least the third last few weeks. And, so, I mean, I'm not sure what it is. I think a lot of it has to do with possibly engine block heaters shorting or something like that.
Right.
Because we've spent so much time with our vehicles plugged in this winter. I'm not sure what happened with this one. Who knows? But that would be my guess, is that engine block heaters are shorting up or something.
Well, tomorrow,
yes,
we are going to be going and shooting a video for Skills Canada.
We
are doing some small engine repair.
Now, this is usually Ollie versus Wheeler.
Yeah.
But Ollie's out of town. He's heading over the pond, and it's going to be me and you.
So I don't want to call myself a ringer, but
you're not
compared to Ollie
on small engine
repair. I
mean,
might
maybe
be a ringer.
That's
arguable.
Literally said about an hour ago that you're not looking forward to it because you're going to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But maybe to a slightly less degree than Ollie.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. How are you
competed against you yet?
That's right.
In a Skills Canada competition,
and I have won literally all of them.
This is not the one I would have chosen. I've been
looking forward to this
about
that because I mean, small engine repair. It's a nice skill to have for sure.
It is.
It would be. I mean, not that I'm going to have the skill after I do a 5-minute video on it.
No,
at all.
Or after studying extensively.
Probably.
No.
It's a skill for sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, you were like, well, it'd be good to have these skills, like, being able to fix your car.
I did not say that.
Well, you mentioned that you mentioned it. And I said that it's not as great to have these skills because you're taking money away from people. If you're not planning on going into small engine repair or mechanics like as a full-time job, then you're just taking money away from people.
Yeah. My small engine is broken down.
That's right.
I don't want to take a job away from someone else.
Exactly. I'll just go pay somebody. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow, and that video will be up probably on Wednesday. But looking forward to that. Looking forward to maybe just crushing Lecter in something because it doesn't happen very often.
What's your running tally in? Like 10-4 overall?
Yeah, like 15-2, something like that. I've won 15 things. He's won 2 of them, and like one of them is under protest because it wasn't like a real thing.
Right.
So he hasn't really won a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll try to represent well.
Yeah, represent well. I guess that's what you should do. Also, big news dropping yesterday. We the North will come to the actual North.
Hey!
That's right. The Toronto Raptors mascot will be bringing the Larry O.B. trophy to Yellowknife, making a couple stops, one at a Cole St. Joseph school and another probably at the JTFN, making 2 northern locations, or actually going to 2 northern locations with the Canadian Armed Forces.
It'd be nice if you brought Carlton Bear, the Toronto Maple Leafs mascot, with him. Just because, then a Maple Leafs representative would get to be, at least in the presence of greatness.
A part of a championship.
Yeah.
It's about the only way.
See what it feels like to be close to that glow.
Oh, man. They are such garbage.
Yeah, well, they've won the last 3, but
that's not enough.
It's not going to matter.
You think they're going to win the playoffs? You think they're going to win the playoffs? Nope. You're a lifelong fan. They're terrible. They're terrible. I shouldn't say anything. My Habs are not going to make the playoffs. But you know what? It's better than I feel like it's better to have low expectations and not live up to them than having the highest of expectations and barely being able to scratch the surface.
Yeah, well, as a Leaf fan, I've been through both, and I really can't tell you which is worse.
It's all a blur, a blue and white blur. Okay, that's going to do it for Mornings at the Cabin this morning. You guys have yourself a wonderful morning. It's a little crisp out there. Maybe wrap up a little bit warm, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.